Okay, I am not an influencer, but if I was, my intro would go something along the lines of, what's going on YouTube? Today we're going to watch a reaction video about do all influencers think the same? Alright, let's get into it now. Something along the lines of that, but for real, we are going to be watching a video called Do All Influencers Think the Same by Jubilee. Let's get into it.
One of my scandals was that people thought that I had sex with my
I know this girl. I know exactly who this is. I finna be in the pit. That's the I'm a finna be in the pit girl.
pet bird. Like, I'm not kidding. And
Did you say
people, like,
bird?
and
Were you
that is
pretending to?
Here I am
Gozelle, oh
having
my
a healthy
God.
life, healthy relationship, all these things, but I know it's gonna be so bad for business.
The Botox starts with your eyebrows here, and then
Gabby Hanna. Dude, I thought she died. What happened to Gabby Hanna?
it's here, and it's like every single day I'm looking in the mirror, and I'm like, who is this person?
Wow. Gozelle's crazy.
I portray a life I don't actually live.
I'm not gonna lie, I think this one should obviously be yes for every single one. Like, in my opinion, no matter how vulnerable an influencer says they are, they're always gonna show you the absolute best version of themselves, like by far. And that's just how people are. Like, no one wants to show you, for the most part, obviously that might be some of the exceptions, but for the most part, no one wants to show you the sad highlights or the bad version of them, like when they look ugly or nasty, when they're not being funny. It's like same way as like cutting out bad jokes, right? Like, no one's gonna show the negative. So my prediction is they're all gonna move to some version of agree. If there is someone who goes to like not agree, meaning they are pretty confident that they show their actual life, fair enough. I'm not gonna make any assumptions about people and their content, but I'll be pretty surprised. I can't lie. I just became shorter, but really? That many of you disagree with the fact that you don't show a life you don't live, and only one of you? Okay.
Well, I post about myself and my life every day, so I'm posting exactly what's going on in my life. Okay, like I need some money, somebody to help me with my kid. Can I have a man? I need a man. Okay, make sure you don't edit that part out.
No, same. My stuff
Oh, I thought people were gonna laugh. I think she's trying to be funny but be serious, but like no one laughed.
is very authentic and vulnerable to my real life, and I wouldn't be an influencer or have a platform or even make content if I wasn't just portraying my everyday life.
yeah, I literally just vlog what I do.
Okay, but these people are strongly disagree. They might as well be saying, I show everything, to be in strongly disagree. No, just no.
Do every day, and I tell stories of things that actually happened, so I feel like it's pretty accurate to how I live my life.
Yeah,
I think this girl's pretty honest. She did want to be in the pit, so she's trying to be as serious as possible.
I guess our lives are interesting enough that people want to watch it.
Yeah.
True.
Well, on the other end of the spectrum, I do
honest
not, because I created a character for my content. That was a really important thing for me once I was trying to start this content creation journey, was I wanted a wall, a barrier to say in between my real life and the audience, because honestly, like I enjoyed not being able, not posting in a while, but nobody worrying about where I'm at, who I'm with.
That's interesting because, yeah, I feel like sometimes I have no boundary in between, like, my actual life and my job. It's so meshed together.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty common take among like people who do like social media. Like, you're never really off the clock in a sense. Not saying that's a difficult job, obviously not, but there's not really a time for you to turn off in a way, because you're usually almost always on. If something happens, like, okay, can I film this or whatever.
Everything that I do, it's in the back of my head, this would be a good video, and I almost always act on it and I end up filming it. I used to be much better at keeping those things separate, but now because they're so intertwined, it's very hard for me to
Jump in the pit.
not jump at an opportunity to make a good video when I'm doing something interesting or fun. And I'm not sure how I'm gonna work on that because I'm not in a good place with it. And I'm not sure what I'm gonna do, but the thing that I struggle with the most with filming constantly is I'm just always in my own head. Like, what am I gonna say next in the video? Instead of being present and talking to the people that I'm with.
That's why I stood at disagree instead of strongly disagree, because there is always that little voice in the back of your mind of, I have to make sure that this is entertaining and I have to keep people engaged all the way through, and there's things that I have to do that would be authentic to my life that's just simply not good content. So I'm gonna not film myself doing those things. So accidentally, the life I'm portraying might not be as authentic as it feels to me, even though
Fair enough. I still argue maybe a bit more to the right. I think disagree. Even regularly disagree is pretty insane.
to me it does feel authentic, but I'm like doing my computer work at midnight when I can't film. Yeah.
It's like
Is she allowed to move? She can do that?
a little bit more polished, but it's still real. It's still you, but it's more like
Through a
shiny.
filter.
Yeah, it's filtered.
See, in my YouTube days, I think the only thing I really like had going for me, I used to do like story time videos.
Dude, seeing Gabby Hanna is so good. First off, I'm pretty sure her story times were fake. I might be wrong. There's obviously no way to prove whether or not they were real or not, but crazy Gabby Hanna.
I was called the Gabby Show if you were on like Vine or like
That's
early.
where I know you're from.
There we go.
Oh.
Like early YouTube. So the thing that I really had going for me was just that I wasn't polishing anything. Like pimple on the face, like greasy skin, like really truly messy space, and also mental health. Like I feel like a lot of my traction was because I was one of the earlier creators to really show like depression, anxiety. And I think it did some good,
Okay, this got serious quick. I was trying to make jokes, but
but I think that like coming online and doing story times or like getting emotional and like crying because like, wow, this is like actually hurting me, but also the views of this, like the blur of authenticity and just completely exploiting yourself was like treacherous. So I had to like take a huge step back to the point where I share very, very little at all. Like honestly, I'm surprised I was asked as an influencer because I feel like I'm like retired, but
I really liked what you said about like how you have this character that's you wanted to nip it in the bud. You wanted to have kind of like this separate entity. Like you're running the account, but you have a character that you've kind of built.
Hannah Montana said it best. You get the best of both
Best of both worlds.
they might talk about this later, but that must create some kind of like weird, like schizophrenic thing with creators who have like a very obvious character in their videos because you're spending so much time as that other personality. Does that mix in with your real life as well? Is it possible, or are you good at separating those two so much to where like when that camera turns off, you're like instantly back to your normal self? That has to be somewhat weird.
But
True.
do you guys, because like on my end doing that, it has been a double-edged sword, especially nowadays when me and my team are like trying our damnedest to get out of this because we need to push this a little bit more. And you know, we're revisiting, kind of like I'm restarting in a way. I'm doing all the things that I used to do in a costume, but now as myself.
I'm jealous of you. I'm like very much trying to think of concepts that don't revolve around myself and to where you can have like consistency, that you're not sharing everything going on in your life. And like, just as a personal example, I had a very treacherous few years and my channel did really well during that time, but I knew that I was going to be entering a more steady season of life. And with that comes decline. And so part of me is like, oh no, like here I am having a healthy life, healthy relationship, all these things, but I know it's gonna be so bad for business. And I wish I had something that was detached from me. I
guess it does depend on whether or not your like YouTube channel or whatever content is so focused on your genuine personal life, because then it's exactly what she said. Like if you have a very normal life or like, you know, no drama ahead of you, it's like, what do you film? It's like just your normal day life, which I mean could work. People just do want to watch that, but it seems like in this scenario, the more drama she had is when when the views start to come in more in a way, which can kind of bring up two arguments. Like on one hand, you have a character where people are watching for that character, maybe so much not yourself, but for the most part it is you, and then you can keep that character up for as long as you, I guess, can, right? If you don't feel weird about it, keep it up. But then the people that watch you may not feel that connection to you as much as they feel it to like the character. Where on the other hand, you have the vlogging lifestyle where it's all about you. You know, people watching might be so socially connected to you as a person that it almost gets to the point of like they think they know you like as a friend.
YouTube vlogs. I do 3 a week and I have for like 10 years now.
Damn.
And I'm in a
What the fuck?
contract where I have to continue doing 3 a week. So in some ways it feels a little sticky and a little stuck. But I went.
That kind of ruins it a little bit. Finding out like a YouTuber has a contract to make videos, because then it's like, okay, were you gonna make those videos without the contract? Probably not.
Through a phase in my early 20s where I was married and went through like a very messy divorce and just shared all of that in live time as I was learning things, which is great television and terrible for your mental health. So yeah, now I am remarried and steady and in a healthy relationship and love that for me, but don't love that for numbers.
People love a hot mess.
They do. They really do. In a lot
That's just reality TV in general, like any type of content. People want drama.
of ways, I'm really thankful that I kind of just laid it all out there on the line and shared it all. Also, I do think oversharing that, in a sense, removed all of the shame of it for me, because it felt like I was owning my own story and I was the one putting it out. And I know I can be really hard on myself when it comes to critiques and negativity, but I never feel embarrassed. I think who I present on social media is pretty accurate to how I actually live. How I think and how I speak and how I see the world is accurately represented. I think from the outside in, I'm the same, but from the inside out, I am more just internally calm without the social media commentary that I have in my brain going all the time of like, how am I phrasing this? How could it be misconstrued? Do I need to choose different words? I just am always kind of self-editing in my brain with that social media persona in mind.
And even
It's funny, a lot of creators that, like, you know, like I may know, the only difference between them off and on camera is just how loud they are. For the most part, they're basically the same person.
Yeah.
with what character did you say, Hannah Montana? That ended. I mean, eventually you just can't pretend for so long. We know who you are.
Exactly. It's like once I started getting more into these spaces as myself, I didn't feel respected, honestly. I didn't feel respected, you know, from the work that I've already put in, only because I have done that work in a costume. You almost start feeling like you don't know yourself.
Exactly.
You
Almost
know?
like you have to get a new audience almost because they have to get to know
Exactly.
you. Because some people stay stuck. This is what you are. This is what I like. I need you to keep on the dress or whatever. And
The fact that Glozell's wearing, I'm pretty sure her thing was the green lipstick, which is kind of crazy.
Absolutely. I get it all the time. I post something without a wig, and the
Goes
comments
on.
are like, it's either I didn't recognize you or who is this? The character can't live unless the Nick is the same exact type of person. So like, as long as Nick is happy, the character can live. And this Nick is constantly happy now, to where I thought that happiness would create more for the character, but that happiness actually created more for myself to actually step away from that character. I thought the character was my happiness, but she really wasn't. She was there for the time being. But the more confidence and the more happiness that I started to gain through her, I started to want to utilize that and apply it to my real life.
I relate to having a character because if I don't wear green lipstick and I show up, it's like, oh. And I could take my daughter to school. I'm like, hello.
Okay, that sucks. If someone really has a negative reaction to you not wearing your like known attire or like lipstick, the audacity for someone to go,
Oh, shit, you're not wearing that thing that I know you for from the YouTube videos you used to make or make now? Are you sure you're her mom?
like, what? That's insane for someone to have any sort of reaction for you not to wear your YouTube stuff.
The principal's like, hi. Oh, hello. How is you? Okay. I gotta, you know, be the clown all the time. Even though, unlike you, you said there's a different character. That is me, but that's not me all the time. Sometimes I'm calm. Sometimes I'm hyper. And you take 2 or 3 minutes, and that's who I am all the time to you. That's it. 10 years later, that's it. Who do I think I am at this point in my life without the green lipstick? Nobody. Nobody. Nobody without the green lipstick.
It's an insane answer. Nobody. I mean, granted, everyone has their own experiences, but I feel like, I don't know if she's still uploading now, and my partner gonna check it. That is kind of sad that she thinks like that even now. I would assume she hasn't done YouTube in a while or like has heavily slowed down. Damn.
I really wish that I had another channel or another outlet where I could be myself without it. Without the green lipstick, not as funny, not as known, not the person who's the voice of a troll on the series, not a person that interviewed the president, not that person. You were like, who are you without the green lipstick? Well, I would love to find out. I'm not there yet. I feel like I'm not seen without the green lipstick. I'm in a beautiful jail. It's nice here. It's great. However, I want to get out, and I don't know how to do that, or if I ever will. And boo-hoo to, you know, it's like those first world problems, but it's still a problem.
I think people, I mean, similarly to you, I don't really have a character. It is just me, but my videos are definitely, I'm high energy, I'm excited, I'm kind of like
You're
squawking at the
filming.
camera. But I think when you kind of memify yourself over time, like you said, people expect this, like, they think you wake up and a switch flips and you're like, yeah, well, that's really what just happened. Like, but that's not your life all the time. Like, I would say 90% of the time, I'm a very calm person, but sometimes I'm not. And sometimes there is a crazy story or a funny joke that I think of that I have to tell on TikTok or on Instagram, but people kind of expect this like wind-up toy when they
Right.
meet you, and
That's so real.
you can't always perform to their level.
I can't stop looking at her just thinking the fit.
And you can't change. When you're an actor and you're on a movie, you could be a Marvel character here, and then next time you're a doctor, and the next time you're a teacher, the next time you're dying of this. But us, We are it.
Okay, before it moves on to the next question, maybe they will acknowledge it, but I hope they don't say this in the sense of like being an influencer is difficult, because maybe, of course, some creators have it difficult in terms of like their job is hard to do and like not a lot of people could do it. It doesn't seem like they're saying that at all, but for some reason when I hear someone like who does this type of content, or who does content, like not complain, but like it's kind of weird, like when I hear them like say something negative, or like I guess like in a way complain about their job. And I'm not saying that these people are doing it. It's almost like, okay, don't forget you are an influencer. It doesn't get a lot easier than that, but that also doesn't mean like their complaints should just go unheard and like they don't exist.
I've feared being canceled.
Dude.
So
Damn, all the way there.
well, I had a little period of time where it was just like lightning rod of just little dumb drama things that didn't really like matter a lot.
The thing of being canceled is like there's one side of like it's kind of dependent on what your audience is and how you kind of grow your audience, what kind of, I don't say jokes, but like what kind of stuff they're kind of more lenient to, because at the end of the day you can only be canceled by people that watch you. And even the word canceled is like so weird, because it's like, first off, is cancellation real? Not really, but then there's such a wide variety of what someone can be, I guess, like attacked on the internet for can come to. Like one can be like, you know, someone being accused of having sex with their pet or cat, versus someone actually being like a bad person, or like racism or whatever. I don't know why those two on the opposite. Those are pretty bad stuff. They probably have to stay on the bad side. But like, you know, like a bad joke that maybe shouldn't have been said in the current climate. I don't know. Point being canceled is to an extent not a real thing unless you are like super PC and like your audience is very PC as well, like very not risky with jokes and whatnot. Then I can understand why it's more of a fear if you have that type of audience. If you have like pretty normal people watching you, that shouldn't be too much of an issue to worry about.
But then it just became like, honestly, kind of dark at a point where it felt just constant from every angle, and then just kept getting like, honestly, darker and darker and like weirder, because people are crazy. And that's why when you were talking about like wanting to like let yourself, like you feel safe, don't, like, why would you feel safe? Like, I want to shake you. I had like the fear. You realize like some cancellations are valid and then some are somewhat
She's just trying to jump into the pit, man. That's all she cares about.
true, and then some are like maybe a little true but not worth what it got spun into. And you see so many examples of people's careers just like ending. And I did fear that for a really long time, which is why I came over here, because so much of my life for multiple years was obsessing over that. And then once things happened where it was like, oh, she's canceled, or cancel her, or whatever it was like, okay, but nobody's ever truly canceled until they give up. So then it became this thing where it's like, well, I'm not gonna let
That's something you hear a lot.
people win.
That was
like,
deep, honey.
anybody who's engaging in cancel culture because they believe that it's helpful is wrong, because nobody's ever changed because they were hated. People have changed because they're shown love and empathy and compassion. But at the end of the day, everybody deserves forgiveness and grace.
What she's saying is definitely true to an extent, though. You take it by case basis of whether or not to not send out hate. I don't know. If it also depends on what your goal is. If your goal is to genuinely change that person's mind and to hopefully, you know, make them a better person if they said something bad, or like maybe said a really bad joke that I guess they wouldn't normally say. I think jokes might be in their own category, but then of course sending, I guess, love, or like trying to tell them like, hey, this is why you shouldn't think this way, or this is a bad way of doing stuff, then I get it. But if someone is genuinely a racist or a homophobe or whatever the case is, of course the goal should be to change their mind and make them a better person. But while sending hate isn't the best thing to do, at a certain point you got to think about, okay, is this even worth it? You need to like change this person's mind. Should they just be, you know, fucked off to like another part of the world and let them sit there? Like, I don't know.
Because we're all given forgiveness and grace, and you have to give what you want to receive. It's one of those things where it's like I have to be careful how far I talk, because it's easy to tailspin, right? But I guess the summary from my perspective is just like, people realized that they could continue to say things that weren't true, and it just like spiraled out of control. Sorry. I cried in the car before this because I was like, let me just get it out there, but it sucks because if you like say that, people are like, oh, you can't take accountability, but it's like, no, you're asking me to apologize for something that's not real. So that's why I stepped back, because it was just like,
It's fan base by fan base. That's literally all it is, or what side of the internet you're on.
I accept where God is like moving me. So like, if you would have asked me like a month ago, like, do you think cancel culture works? I'd been like, honestly, yeah, because like it changed my life. Like that was how I found true peace, like comfort, slow mornings, like enjoying the success that I already acquired, that I'm now just at this point trying to like redeem a reputation that nobody cares about. And that's ultimately what like I really came to, is like, who cares about me? And I mean that in like the most self-loving way. this isn't worth fighting for. Like, okay, so people online don't like me. That's okay. Like, I have like my family, my husband, like my community, like my people online who I'm friends with, and that's like the most important thing. But
I think one thing about this whole online, not even influencing, but space in general, there are a lot of people that are chronically online. Like, that is not some little case. A lot of people just say shit online just to say it. 99% of people, okay, a lot of people are normal in real life. Like, no one will ever, like, even cancel culture or whatever, like, it's not a real life thing.
yeah, I guess that's
But
like
you're
the
not
summary.
relying on that to eat then. You're not relying on it for your money then.
No, and that's,
It's not
if
like that for
anybody's like,
everybody.
side note, if there's any like influencers out here watching, like young startups, save your money, like retire, like you might get canceled, whether you know, whatever, just save your money, invest well, and retire early. I guess sharing my vulnerability stopped feeling like a release and more like a burden whenever I was no longer being celebrated for sharing. Because there was a lot of time where it's like, yay, like vulnerable, like so honest, like we need this. And I think that is true. But then when it's like, hey, like I'm getting like very publicly mocked for like my mental health, and like now it's like this thing that made me sort of like relatable and real is now the thing where it's like, she's psychotic, she's manic, she's evil, she's a narcissist, she's a manipulative, like horrible person, she deserves to die, literally. Like, cancel her, like literally put an end to her.
I relate to that last.
Okay, I can't lie, this video is so much more serious than I thought. This caught me so off guard. I expected this video to be a lot more lighthearted than it actually is.
Last thing you said, like so much, like I feel like I got canceled so many times, and the thing that comforts me the most is like my
Being in the pit.
friends love me, my family loves me, and they know who I am. Like, why do I care? Like what all these like losers are saying about me that don't know me, like it really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of like my personal life. So that really helps me a lot, but I feel like I got canceled like so many.
All these losers is fucking crazy. I can't lie. I'm assuming she means the haters. She's like, yeah, F them haters are all losers, man. I don't know. I guess if they're being genuinely bad people, yeah, they're losers, but I hope that's the case.
Times in such a short period that I somewhat don't fear it as much anymore because I feel like I got it over with, like all of the craziness. One of my scandals was that I literally, people thought that I had sex with my pet bird. Like, I'm not kidding. And
Did you say
people, like,
bird?
people genuinely believed this, and
Were you
that is
pretending to?
no.
What? Yeah, shit. Were you pretending to? Dude, I'm sorry. If you get an accusation like that, there has to be some truth behind it. Because there's no way. That shit is not, like, normal. No one gets an accusation like that. She set herself up, bro.
Was the
There
bird
was no
close
like,
to
there was
you?
no like
Dude, Glozell cannot believe it.
suggestion of that.
No,
like,
Sleep and the bird wing was like.
No, so I made a TikTok once, and I was just like, oh my God, like, I just found out that if you, like, pet, because I have a pet bird, if you pet his back, like, it can turn them on. And I made this video about it, and people ran, and that is to this day, like, my biggest scandal, and it's so, like,
No, it's not. That's not her biggest scandal. I tend to be in the pit.
crazy, but, like, people have
Because
taken
like it's bestiality, it's like she's a pervert.
But
it's
did
like
they keep it up?
craziness. Oh, it's still to this day. Yeah. But I feel like that was the biggest one, and there was, like, a little ones around it, but it got so dark for me, too. I literally had to delete the app for, like, 8 months. I focused on YouTube.
I've exploited my personal life for content.
That has strongly disagreed. You just can't say no to that. Come on. There's no way. Nah, come on. Let's see it. Let's see it. Oh. Move a little more, man. You know damn well.
I mean, I feel like my whole platform was literally just that. Like it was the Gabby show. Like it was literally
You said you have exploited, right?
my content outside of Vine, because Vine was
Oh, maybe because of the character.
just like very short little catchy things. And then as soon as it was to go over to YouTube, so it was just like, okay, well, let me do a Q&A. And then from there, it was like, people recognized my face from Vine. So then like YouTube just grew so quickly that I was like, oh, this is what I do. So then I'd be like at Playlist Live or VidCon and be like telling stories. And then there'd be these like major creators who were like, you should tell that online. And there was like this like little kind of gut thing in me. I was like, no, I feel like that would be, you know, too much, whether it's about me or another person. And then it just got to a point where it's like, you kind of bend what you're willing to do a little more and a little more and a little more. And before you know it, you're just like bearing everything. And then it got to a point with me where like I've never been afraid to be emotional on camera. Like I would cry, like if I would rant.
I think we know that's true.
If I was like going through something, I would share it, like really like emotional, like trauma dumping type things because it was getting a lot of views. And at the time it was kind of, well, you know, at the beginning, ish of mental health. So the more you talked about it, you were like applauded for that. Like it was like, oh my gosh, you're so brave. Like you're helping destigmatize mental health. In exploiting your own vulnerability, you're ultimately in a way exploiting the audience's vulnerability. But then they expect what they
I don't know if I understand that point. I might be missing something in terms of what she means by that. I'm not sure how you're exploiting your audience's vulnerability, but who knows? I mean, maybe I get it. I guess in a way, like you're making them also vulnerable with you, so that could be how you're exploiting, but I'm not sure what she means.
they paid for, what they're asking for. It's like, give us everything, like dance. And yeah, I feel like I went to a pretty far extreme with it. Like I think that I've probably shown more like mental health breakdowns than most people can like really relate with. And I wanted to. Like I wanted people to understand that this actually was having an impact, and I didn't want to let it stop me. The first time I ever sat down on a camera and I was like crying, I was like, this is obviously totally unnatural. I remember like editing some of those earlier videos. I'm like, wow, this is like really intense and like real and raw, but there was something that I did like about it, that it was just.
People always joke about like influencers like crying on camera. I've never thought about them editing that part of the video. I can't imagine going through Premiere and editing yourself crying. That must feel so weird. Like trying to cut in between the rest of you crying. Oh my God.
It's kind of like, I'm not a documentarian, but I feel like that's probably the sort of feel of just like, wow, this is so real. So I would say immediately I knew that it was exploiting it. It was quickly batted away because it made the most money. You just give a little more, you give a little more. It's like, whoa, like that video got 1 million a day because I was crying in the thumbnail. Like, boo-hoo, like pay me some more, you know?
So in terms of oversharing and vlogging through my divorce, I think that I accidentally gamified me finding things out in real life for other people. Like it almost felt like a murder mystery party for people of like, oh, she's finding out things that she doesn't know yet. I bet we can also find out things. And I learned so much of what I didn't know that was going on in my own life by people just being internet sleuths and then like sending me screenshots or whatever. And in some ways I'm thankful because maybe I wouldn't have ever known that. And it's like helping to put puzzle pieces in the puzzle that I wouldn't have gotten otherwise. But in other ways, it feels like we're crossing so many boundaries right now. There's so many lines that have been crossed. So, yeah. A lot of women go through divorces in their 20s, but nobody feels like they know anyone else that has. And that was a recurring theme that I saw in my comments and my DMs is people were like, I am 24 and I'm going through a divorce and I feel so ashamed and so alone and
24 and divorce is pretty crazy. That means you must have got married at least at what, 21, 22? If you get married at 23 and you get divorced at 24, there should have been some hints beforehand to find out that relationship wasn't gonna last. But that's crazy. 24 and like, wow. I guess people do get married young, but that's still pretty crazy. I feel like nowadays that number should be a lot lower.
Watching you navigate it makes me feel like somebody else gets it.
Well, I explored dating, you know, because everybody seems to be interested in that and how, you know, bad it goes. So then I'm filming everything like, oh my goodness, look at how he eats and how he snores, you know. Well, I lost a husband because of it.
How he eats and how he snores? What do you mean? Are you filming him sleeping? Wait. So is he just like this? And she's over here just like filming him like, oh yeah. Look at him with this stupid ass bunny with a pizza. Look at him snoring too, right out of a cartoon. No wonder you guys broke up.
Because I'm just videoing, vlogging about my life, and I'm thinking we're gonna have a kid, but then it never happened. And then I had to do IVF, and I didn't know the story was gonna go so long. So I already started talking about it. And then we had to get a surrogate, and then it's been more than a year, and then it turned into a series. And then I'm like, okay, we have a baby, that's great, and he's gone. You know, because I was filming everything. That was the most important thing. And I thought, like, he's cool, we cool. You know, I thought, but, so I do feel like, wow, you know, I have my daughter, but I probably would have everything if I hadn't put it all out there.
Wow, that's powerful.
Thanks for sharing that.
So the next husband, come on. So after posting everything of my life, and what was going on.
That must be so awkward though, like filming everything up to the point of like your child's potential, I guess like what the case was, birth, IVF, surrogate, whatever. And then for it to not, or not, it still happened. She said she has a daughter, but for the, I guess baby dad in this case to leave or her husband to leave, damn, that must suck. Oh my God.
This didn't work, how that didn't work, how, you know, then we had to find somebody to carry the child. I think overall it was, he said, and I've never said this, he said that I castrated him.
Wow.
So I knew it was pretty much done there. I'm like, I don't know what to do with that. So I look back and I'm thinking, I'm a great person. I'm wonderful. I'm kind. I have a good heart. Why would you leave me? Obviously, it's him. It's his fault. You want to leave. You're not talking. You shut down. That's you. I'm talking. Boy, am I talking. I'm telling everybody.
She's probably gonna say this, but that's what the issue eventually came down to. It was just, I guess, all out there and he didn't like it, which definitely is a valid reason to leave. I mean, I'm assuming he must have talked to her first and then she said maybe no or something like that, but assuming that's all it was, like it was just like the constant filming and like nothing being private. Fair enough. I mean, it's not that crazy to leave over that, honestly, because then you kind of feel like you don't have like a life to yourself anymore, especially the husband not, I mean, I'm assuming a lot, but the husband not choosing to have a life like that, to have that life like outside of it. Maybe if he started dating her as she was already filming everything and then he knew what he was getting himself into, it's kind of like, okay, wait, that's on you, but if not, fair enough.
Oh, you told everybody. Oh, he's got uncles, he's got aunties, he's got sisters, he's got brothers, and I'm not taking into account that people are like, well, look at what your wife is putting out there. I'm like, forget them, because I'd already been through that. He had Glozell with the green lipstick. He didn't have Glozell without the green lipstick. That person didn't even exist anymore.
I feel like it never used to feel like I was exploiting myself because I wanted to. Like the first 2 years I did TikTok, I posted 4 story times a day just because I had so many.
4 times a day? No one has that many stories. There's no way.
Like insane, like TMI stories.
Or am I just really boring? I can't make up 4 stories a day for a week, let alone for 2 years. That's just, nah.
That I had to tell, but I loved doing it. But I feel like recently, this is TMI, but I do OnlyFans, and I bought a house a couple of years ago that I could afford at the time.
Wait, what?
I do.
And you got a fiance?
I do.
Is he in all like you?
He's in some of it. He's in some of it. I don't show my feet. Well, I guess I do. But I started it a few years ago, and I was,
Is this the I finna be in the pic girl? I hope it is, because if it's not, I'm gonna look like an idiot. I don't know if she does OF.
Bought the house a couple of years ago, and I was making a lot from it, and I feel like it's declined quite a bit, like my income on OnlyFans, because of the place in life that I'm at right now. I'm no longer like psycho and like going out drinking all the time, and like I'm at home with my fiance and like cooking, and I just feel like that sort of content doesn't direct to OnlyFans, so I don't make as much money. So I feel like recently I feel like I'm exploiting myself more because I'm talking about things that I don't really want to talk about, and I'm just like grasping at straws and like telling all these stories that I never wanted to even tell. And now I'm at the point where I have no secrets.
I was gonna say, I feel like that cooking, or I mean, maybe she might, I don't want to say housewife, but let's say she is a housewife for this example, could definitely lead to like an OF thing. That can definitely turn, sexual. Like, let me give you guys an example. Like, say I'm this, extremely attractive guy, I don't know who, but let's say whoever, right? Imagine me with an apron on, just cooking, whatever the case is. It's not gonna focus on me, fine. Oh, there we go. Cooking, whatever the case is, right? I'm over here chefing it up. Yes, like this, chefing it up. Ugh. Ugh. Oh, shit. This hot food is all over my shirt. I have to take it off. Subscribe to my OF to see what happens after. And that can be a great way to funnel the cooking stuff to the OF.
I'm like, so like a couple of weeks ago, I was like trying to be crazy again, like just to direct traffic to my OnlyFans, because that's the only content that does that. So I was like just exploiting myself in ways, like I was going out and getting really drunk with like my friends and like filming things that I wouldn't normally film for TikTok just to do that. And it made me feel so icky because that's just not who I am anymore. So I stopped doing that recently. But then the other day I told this story that I never was planning on talking about. I put it behind a paywall, so I'm not gonna talk about it now because it will make me sob, but like I never wanted to talk about that, and I felt like I had to. So now I just feel.
Is it still up?
Yeah.
It's not too late to delete it, is it?
No, but I mean, it's out there now. People typed it all out, put it on Reddit, and all the things.
I'm confused to what OnlyFans is.
Maybe? Do you know what it is?
I thought I did, but you said when I'm talking and I'm videoing and I'm drinking, like.
Oh, no, I just mean like the videos that I make on TikTok will direct traffic to my OnlyFans.
Got it.
I had a pet bird, and this is like really like deep to me. Like I love animals, I'm vegan, I have pets, and I had a pet bird for a while, and he was in a lot of my content, and so a lot of people like knew him. His name was Marty, and it got to a point, and like it's hard to.
This is really sad, but Marty McFly. I just have to say that.
For people to understand who have never owned a bird before, but they're very like complex creatures, and you have to be like a very special type of person to own a bird. And I was not that person, and I tried for so long to make it work, but it was getting to the point where I would literally like walk the streets all day long just so I wouldn't have to be home, because he caused me like so much overwhelming anxiety and panic attacks and like just straight up distress, to the point where I rehomed him to my dad, but I can't see him anymore because birds are just so connected with their owners. I felt like such an awful person for doing that, and I'm so like humiliated and ashamed by it. And I was never gonna talk about it. People ask me all the time, like that's the question I get overwhelmingly every day, like where's Marty, where's Marty, where's Marty? And I was never gonna talk about it because I'm so embarrassed by it. But I feel like it's gotten to the point where I'm like trying to like pay my mortgage because I built this like house off of my OnlyFans, whatever, that like I felt like I had to talk about it finally, and I didn't want to.
She's gonna continue, but that is incredibly sad. Oh my god. I didn't know that birds were like, I guess, that different compared to, I guess, other like domesticated animals like dogs or cats. But I mean, shout out her. That takes a lot of strength to be able to say that, you know, you're not that type of person who can take care of a bird. But the fact that it caused her that much stress, I'm assuming she means like having to keep up with it, or like maybe make it like mentally, like, I don't want to say stable, but like keep it up. That is brave, like to be able to say that about yourself. That's pretty crazy.
So, well, I've like never.
Talk to you because I'm like, you trying to pay your mortgage,
It's
but you
crazy.
got a fiance.
Yeah.
Not paying.
We split it, but it's like a crazy mortgage because I built it based off of what I was making at the time. Like,
Why would she say that? What?
an idiot, and I'm not making that anymore.
But you
So-
have a fiance.
Yeah, but he has like a normal job, so, and it's like a really big mortgage.
Where's my close-up camera?
Dude, what's she on? What?
What?
Being an influencer has changed how I see myself.
I think for most people, I'm sure it gives them like a pretty big ego because you have a bunch of people like agreeing with you and like, you know, hyping you up. Some people who get memed, I'm sure it's on the negative side, but I think if I was to make a bet on a general answer, I'm sure it is on somewhat agree to agree. Because if you're making decent content, not decent quality, but like, you know, nice or whatnot, people are going to be there to hype you up. They want to see you win. And so that might give people like inflated egos on like their self-esteem, which is not a bad thing if it's like low to like normal self-esteem in a way.
Changed.
Oh,
Wow.
See myself.
Maybe it's because she's older, or she's been in the, you know, social media game long enough to where she might. No, but Gabby Hanna's been there pretty long too, actually.
I think because when internet started and YouTube started, I was already older, so I was pretty much myself, as opposed to someone who was 16, 17. You're not the same person at 22, 23.
No.
I was like 30, now I'm 53. I haven't changed too much.
For me, it has kind of just like dissipated any type of negative thought I've had about myself. So many ups and downs, but like I'm very proud of myself to get to the point. I've done a lot of stuff my first year as a creator, all on my own. I didn't sign into an agency until like the last year, and then like things completely like changed drastically because I was no longer the one doing everything. Because I've always been, like the entire journey, I was always doing everything myself. The recording, the concept, the recording, the editing, the posting, the schedule. I used to study algorithm in Alabama as a hobby, but I moved here and the pandemic started, so I had to, it was no longer a hobby, I could do it for an actual job. And making that choice, first of all, believing myself to take that jump to do that as a full-time job, I never would have thought that I was able to do that. But honestly, in the last few years, I have been able to, I've seen so many new sides to myself in a positive way. So I'm like, oh damn, like I actually can do that. And also like, I'm just pushing myself constantly and seeing not only what I'm presenting, but also how I'm reacting to things, because I used to be a very reactive person.
Yeah, I guess it does, like, if assuming you take it as an actual job and maybe you have a lot more free time than other people who have a normal job, you get a lot more chances to try out different things without the negative being too much, because you have the freedom of kind of, if anything, you can get paid to do those different things, right? If you just film it. Also, side note, I hate that word influencer. It's such a weird word. I think content creator sounds a lot safer, but influencer makes it sound like, I don't know, like icky or weird.
And since being an influencer, I'm able to see that I can have those times to take a beat.
Yeah, mine's on the positive side too. I feel like I had no path when I was like out of high school. I didn't really go to college. I was working at a restaurant and just like drinking all the time with my friends, and which is fine, but I wasn't ever passionate about anything. I had no idea what I wanted to do. And then I found this and it fulfills me like so much. And I grew up watching like Jenna Marbles, Shane Dawson, Tana Mojo, and like they just like helped me so much, like escape from my life. And like I loved being in fandoms and being a fangirl for so many different things. So now that I get to do that for people, that fulfills me like so much. And I love it. And it makes me see myself so differently. Like, I feel like I was very insecure growing up as a kid, as a teenager. Like, I didn't have much confidence in myself, and now I do. And I feel like it's from like, I feel like I'm good at something and I'm helping people. So
That is also an age thing, to be fair. I think those two may have started when they're younger. I don't know how old these people are. Well, I think Gabby's kind of older. But obviously when you're a teenager, you're like, confidence is low. It's just how teens are for some reason. But even for me personally, a lot of my confidence came within the last year and a half, 2 years. Like, I think it grew very exponentially. So that might be the case with most people up into their early 20s is when they really start to reach like that very safe and like confident level in themselves.
Social media has given me like definitely a sense of ambition of not only what I can do with social media, but what I can do from it, or where I can take like a different field if I want to go into some sort of like I studied communications in college, and I think that combined with social media experience has given me this kind of like, I've kind of looked up and looked at other career options, and I'm like, whoa, like there's this whole world out there. Whereas when I was 16, going viral for the first time, I wasn't thinking long term at all, and I wasn't thinking about doing social media as a career, but I'm so glad that it's lasted over 5 years at this point, and that I'm kind of like excited for the next step and excited for this next stepping stone. But I think maybe on the negative side, I'm sure maybe some of us do, some of us don't experience this. I think social media has definitely made me more critical of my appearance, or maybe like what outfit I'm putting on, or my outward presentation to the world if I'm choosing to film that day, because it matters and it reflects in, you know, like video performance sometimes, like how put together the person looks.
Really? I would not have thought of that.
But I think there's positives and negatives of how social media has changed the way I viewed myself.
Live by the applause, die by the booze. That's why I'm on this line. I felt it on both scales of it, where it's like, it made me feel like, you know, came from really not being anyone, like was not popular in school, like never really fit in. And then all of a sudden, all these people are like, you're awesome, you're funny, you're hot, you're cool. Like, people are cutting their hair.
They're throwing it, you're hot. Just to slide that in there.
Like you, like they're coming to your tour stops. Like, it's this amazing feeling, but then it's also like, you know, the people who are making fun of the way you look. Or like, I dealt a lot, I'm sure a lot of people on social media and not, like, we're all struggling with our body image. Like, I started getting into, you know, fillers and Botox and stuff, and that like really messed with my mind. Like, there were some times where I was looking in the mirror and I was like getting freaked out because I didn't recognize myself, because like fillers always migrating. Like, the Botox starts with your eyebrows here and then it's here, and it's like every single day I'm looking in the mirror and I'm like, who is this person? Then I'm like disgusting, I'm hideous. At one point I was like extremely
I just keep thinking of that Fousey clip. I felt worthless. I felt gay.
I felt ugly. I felt gay. I felt that like that just based on what they told me.
like small, and I didn't even realize it until looking back. I'm like, oh, I was like sick. Like, I was like very, very unwell. I guess to go back to that prompt about like being addicted to what people's opinions or validation, I think it was, I would consider myself like a recovering addict, where like any other recovery, it's like, this is something I could easily fall back into.
Oftentimes I think about how I see myself from like a character, like my character, less than I see myself visually. And I look at myself as I was as a kid, and I'm like, oh, she was so confident and cute and like just did not care. Like, I would wear bedazzled ties to school, and I would outgrow my jeans too fast and cut off the bottoms and make them jean.
Like, she just has a tie that just like glows as she walks the hall. I guess it's kind of similar to like the kids that would wear light up shoes. I used to want that so much when I was a kid. Oh my God.
Leg warmers, and I was like, I don't care, like, say whatever about me. But I think I lost a lot of the confidence in myself through posting myself online, because I start to question if people are seeing things in me that I'm blind to about myself. So if somebody gives me a criticism that is about my character, I want to be self-aware. And so then I start to wonder, oh, are they seeing something that I'm just not aware of that I do? Like something about my privilege, or the way I speak to my loved ones, or do I fall in love too easily, or whatever. And I think that it makes my awareness of myself feel very blurry, because I'm always taking everything with like whatever the opposite of a grain of salt is. Like, I'm always giving everything
the whole shaker.
Yes.
I don't know if that's a real quote, but I guess I get what she's saying. I would definitely disagree with that statement. I think it's kind of weird to take what people say with, like, I guess take it at face value, right? Like, take it seriously. Actually, I'll take that back a little bit. She does have a point with maybe people seeing stuff that you might not notice because you're so used to it, which I guess in her example is like the way she talks to people, or like, does she fall in love quick? But at the same time, some people, especially on the internet, do just take things so far and like not what it actually is, and they over exaggerate it by a lot. So I think you just have to be careful. I think that's why it's probably better just take everything with a grain of salt and not use the whole damn shaker.
I'm giving them the whole shaker. I'm like actually taking it in and assessing it because I want to be self-aware. And I think that that's ruined my own confidence in my character. Logically, I understand that so many more people are nice than mean, but it's just like my brain and heart latches on to the one mean comment. And I think it is a desire to like defend myself or to understand why. Like when someone's nice, it's just, oh, that's so kind. And then there's nothing else to really process about that.
That editor statement, that hate comments and nice comment thing is definitely true. Like, you know, as some of you may know, I edit Tommy's videos for the second channel, but a lot of the comments are always like love and like, you know, I love the editor, he's great or whatever, like, you know, shout out Kaleb. And then it always takes one comment. It can be just not nice. And it can be something like, yo, the editor should fix that thing he did. And I'll see that and I'll just think, oh, fuck, I'm about to get fired. Like, I'm not that good. Maybe I should just quit. God damn it. Yeah, but I think in general that looking at that one hate comment overshadowing the bunch of love is a very true statement.
But when someone is more critical or negative, there is more that my brain wants to unpack. And I'm like, did I do something wrong? Are they projecting something onto me? And I just feel myself kind of marinating on that for longer than I should.
When you've been up, you know that you can get up again. And when you start to move up again, some of the people who were friends down here, they mad at you because they never been up there, so they don't know that, you know, it's just like, you can't win. When they stay lonely at the top, I'm like, got it, got it, understand.
Advice I would give to my younger self is don't place so much weight in what people think about you on the internet. They don't know you in person.
True, man. True. Only worry about the people that know you in real life. At the end of the day, they're all really who matters.
They never will know you in person. All that matters is what your close friends and family think about you.
Be yourself, be kind, be loving. Like, this other stuff, it's not ever going to make anyone happy. Like, that's why you see so many stories of celebrities who are killing themselves and we still don't get it. Like, this isn't going to make us happy. Achieving things in the world, like, is great and fun, but ultimately it's not gonna make you happy. So every movement where you're just like, you know what, I'm gonna bend my morals a little bit on this. I'm gonna do something I'm not really comfortable with. You're just like kind of giving more and more of yourself away. So I would tell myself, keep your privacy.
How are her eyes not getting attacked by that hair, by the way? That is so close. Look at that. I feel like one reverse, like if she goes like this, like pulls her head back, or no, sorry, forward like this, is getting to her, because there's no way. It's going towards her eyes. Look how close that is. Okay, a bit of a surprise end, but yeah, this video was interesting. I honestly, before I clicked it, I really did think this was gonna be like more of a comedic video, but it's fine. Like, this is cool. The way this one is obviously fun as well. They had some interesting takes. I feel like sticking with the theme, or not sticking with the theme, but making sure that people know that this job that they do is very easy. You know, it's not difficult at all. It has its moments, of course, but at the end of the day, it's, you know, to an extent, a choice you make to choose that job. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy the video, leave a like, subscribe, let me know if you recognize anyone in the video. I think I knew Gabby, Hannah, Glozell, and the Finna be in the pic girl. That's about it. I've been calling her that the whole time. I hope that is actually her, because if it's not, I'm gonna look really stupid. Anyways, till next time, peace.